cat?
9, very high off.
I just shot him. She was coming down the stairs at me with the swords.
This dude thought he was Tum Tum from the Three Ninjas and thought he'd fight the police, but that didn't go very well.
All right, so this is a weird video, and this comes out of Wayne Police Department in Wayne, New Jersey, when this guy decides to crash his vehicle, gets arrested, and immediately after getting booked, gets released, goes home, calls the police, and says he just took a bottle of Xanax pills. When the officers arrived, he threatens them with some swords, wants to play ninjas. Doesn't go well for him. Let's watch the video, come back, and break it down. Before we start today's video, we want to talk about a product that is one of a kind, it's unique, and we fully support it. Our friends over at FlashGuard Tactical created this one-of-a-kind sleeve for your tack light. When you get that carbon buildup on your light that causes your light to be dim, this completely takes that away. When you're at the range, if you're shooting, you put one of these bad boys on the tip of your light, and no longer will you get carbon buildup. It's actually very unique, and like I said, it is one of a kind. I've never seen anything like this. Shout out to Tim and our friends over at FlashGuard Tactical for making this. If you guys drop a comment in this video, we are going to be giving some of these away. Go to flashguardtactical.com, pick yourselves up some of these. You get a nice package, comes with a case. And again, when you're at the range shooting, put one of these over your tack light and no more carbon buildup.
Yeah, I actually wish this was around 10 years ago because this is genius. I can't think of the amount of times that I shot while I was on the SWAT team and constantly having to clean your light. To the point where I almost remove my light at times, but then it changes the weight of the gun and like your shooting is different. But this is absolutely genius.
It is annoying when you go to turn your light on and out on the streets and the light is super dim and you look and there's like, oh man, all this carbon buildup is on there, and then you got to clean it, take the light off.
Yeah.
This completely eliminates all that. So for a very cheap price, you can get your hands on one of these. We'll give some of these away. Yeah. If you guys drop a comment in this video, we will send you a sleeve for your tack light. And these fit all sorts of different tack lights. Go to flashguardtactical.com, see if you can get one for your light.
You know, we'll see what kind of shields we have and stuff. We're going to probably at least need shields. Want to see if you have one, and possibly if I have one in my truck, check mine also. So we'll, if we have to intervene, we'll do it, but, you know, I'm not going in there when he's got like 2 or 3 swords with me either. Thing is,
AA was notified he's going to be reaching out to you directly. SWAT was also notified they're going to be sending their ERT unit.
10-4, thank you.
24, man.
We're just going to hold the perimeter here until they get here. I mean, if he's being a little vocal out of his room, like yelling stuff, so if we start hearing anything that maybe sounds, hang on a second, let me go, Captain. He's on the door. Drop him down, drop him down. Drop him.
Shot fired.
Don't move, drop the knives. Drop the knives.
Get back.
Do not move. Turn over. 10-4. You hear that, Captain?
9, very high off.
I just shot him. He was coming down the stairs at me with the swords.
Hold on, 972 and
This was a wild call, and I to be honest, it's something I completely would not have expected from this.
Yeah, super weird. So the guy gets into a car crash. He ends up getting arrested. They book him in jail. And
on Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to him. Maybe he was really feeling down on himself or feeling lonely that day and just wasn't feeling good and decided to go do something stupid. And so he gets booked and then immediately getting released from jail, he goes home and apparently he calls 911, says he took a bottle of Xanax. Officers arrive at his house to try to make contact with him. He's on the second-story balcony, and he's threatening him with 2 swords in his hand. So maybe he watched an episode of Three Ninjas and wanted to play. The officers obviously weren't having it. While they were kind of setting up, trying to get shields and all these things to contact him, he decides to rush down the stairs. The officers open fire on him, shoot him 5 of 7 times, and he actually survives. So It's a short video. A couple things I think to talk about. What'd you notice?
Right away, I like that I think he was actually a lieutenant, was really mellow. I mean, he knew what the call was, but he's on the phone, very clear who he's communicating with, which was the captain that he was talking to. And then he was communicating with additional officers on the radio and telling another officer to get additional shields while he's standing at the door. So heads up to that lieutenant, did a phenomenal job, like communicating, keeping the captain up to date. And it's probably a smaller agency, so I'm not sure why you would have the captain on the phone at that time, but it was something important enough where he couldn't get off the phone. But he was doing a lot of coordinating, and getting the shield and stuff was a great idea. And I like how he was outside. My only thought, and it just came to my mind when I was watching it, is a situation like that. If you think someone may come rushing at you, I mean, with the resources that they had, I mean, I almost like the idea of getting like a string or a rope and tying it around the door handle, leaving the door open, and then you're outside. So if someone does come, you could always pull that rope and shut the door and buy yourself a little bit of time. Something kind of creative.
I never thought of that. There was one officer already in the house standing by the stairwell. I don't know. You got a guy with knives or swords, whatever. Maybe not be inside and committing yourself. Maybe just wait outside because if what happens, he comes down the stairs. But you're right. The guy was super calm. Even after the shooting, he was like extremely calm throughout the whole thing. And so I liked that. Just as like panicking is contagious, so is being calm. That is also contagious for everybody around you. And so I don't know. I think you have to ask yourself in a situation like that. Yeah, he's saying he took a bottle of a bunch of pills of Xanax. Finding out who else is inside the house. If he's there by himself and he's barricaded, you might just want to leave. I mean, if he wants to take pills and harm himself, there's nothing illegal about that. Especially if he's threatening you with some type of weapon, not putting yourself in a situation where you had to use either force or deadly force. In this case, I think they were trying to figure that out, and the dude ended up running down the stairs anyways.
Yeah, I don't think they had much time because there was only two officers there, and they were even coordinating with additional officers responding. So I think this, and the body cam is very short, so I think it just unfolded really, really fast. And I think that's where we talk about having the mindset of, hey, things can happen really quick. And in this case, it seemed like they were really trying to plan for everything and was prepared for what could happen.
Yeah, it did happen really quick. He's 1 second like talking on the phone or trying to coordinate something, and the next thing you know, the dude is running downstairs and he engages the guy. It did scare me a little bit. The dude that was at the bottom of the stairwell, he ran around to like the maybe the kitchen area or whatever. But as the one officer's body cam angle was shooting, they're lucky that there wasn't a crossfire situation. That could have been bad, but
I mean, it started to be a crossfire. Thankfully, that the person that was coming down, he was elevated.
Yeah.
But I almost wonder if where that lieutenant was at the door, the other officer's right inside, if that officer felt it was best for him to move, giving more room for that lieutenant. But once he started moving, I mean, you immediately saw the potential for a crossfire, and that's super scary.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, I mean, look, when you're trying to coordinate stuff and then the suspect dictates what's going to happen, that often happens. And so
what I do want to mention is that lieutenant did a really good job. He's on the phone coordinating. The suspect comes down the stairs. He recognizes the immediate threat, dumps his phone, engages. The additional officers, they give him commands, they move up, and then he realizes, okay, there's enough people managing that suspect that's been injured. He picks up his phone, and then he does a quick debrief of the captain, which I think is actually pretty important in this point. And I think people are going to think, well, why pick up the phone? Should have hung up. But when you have somebody on the other line that just heard you talking and then gunshots and then is going to hear the phone drop, I think it's important that that person is aware of what happened.
Yeah,
and then,
totally.
Then say, I'll call you later. And I think he briefly talked to the captain and said, hey, did you hear that? I just shot the guy. And then he probably said, I'll call you later.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, probably not a good time to be on the phone. The phone is like the least of your worries, but it's a quick little good scenario. Like that's a good training scenario, right? Like to throw that in front of some cops and then make them work their way through it.
And that's a lieutenant up there, so staffing maybe is a challenge to get there. They don't have the shield or everything. I mean, he's coordinating. They're thinking of a plan, and then that plan just didn't have time to evolve, and then this happened. But I think that goes to show experience, mindset, having the capabilities, recognizing what you have. So when something does happen like this immediately, you're not like going from like your heart rate from like 85 to like 170. You're at like probably like 110, and then it goes up to probably 130, and then you could drop back down. And you could see that with this lieutenant, very well handled.
Yeah, that's all. That's emotional intelligence, which we talk a lot about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, make sure you guys go to Flashcard Tactical. Get your hands on one of these. That's all I've got. You got anything else?
Nope. Just stay safe and be smart.
Later, guys.